Managing sessions in Plesk. This tutorial will show you how to manage sessions in Plesk. Before we look at session management, let's look at some of the settings that will affect how Plesk handles the sessions. For this demonstration, we logged into Plesk as the admin user. If you're logging in as a client or domain administrator, the navigation will differ slightly, and some of the options will not be available in your control panel. Whenever possible, we will note the differences in access levels in this tutorial. Click the server link. Click the Edit icon. Disabling this option will limit each admin user to one session at a time. Additional attempts to log in will fail unless the original session expires or is ended by the user. Click the OK button to save any changes. Now let's look at client-level access. Click the Clients link. The same respective option in the client settings can be configured when the client is added. The default server setting is to allow multiple sessions for each client. However, if you want to limit this setting as a server policy so that you don't want to have to disable it every time you add a new client, you can uncheck the option in a client template that you use when creating clients. For more information about adding clients and client templates, refer to the tutorial Managing Clients in Plesk. Click the client name. Click the Preferences icon. Under a client's panel, the Preferences icon is located in the main menu, accessed by clicking the Home link in the navigation panel on the left. Here is the option for the client. Click the OK button to save any changes. Now let's look at domain administrators. Click the Domains link. Since domain administrator access has to be enabled after the domain is added, there is no way to set the option in the domain template. Under a client's panel, the domains owned by that client will also be listed at the bottom of the main menu. Click the domain name. Click the Domain Administrator icon. Under a Domain Administrator's panel, the Domain Administrator icon is located in the main menu, accessed by clicking the Home link in the navigation panel on the left. Here is the option for the Domain Administrator. Click the OK button to save any changes. Now let's look at email users. Click the link. Click the Mail icon. The Mail icon is also in the main menu of the Domain Administrator's panel. There is no way to set or change the default setting for mail users, which is to allow multiple sessions, but the option can be set when adding a new email account. For more information on adding email accounts, refer to the tutorial Managing Email Accounts in Plesk. Click the name. Click the Preferences icon. For email users, the Preferences icon is located in the main menu, which loads automatically when they log into Plesk. Here is the option for the email user. Click the OK button to save any changes. These options only affect connections to Plesk. They do not control sessions for other services such as FTP, POP3, IMAC, and RDP sessions. Controlling limits on the number of sessions for these services per user would have to be configured in the respective service configuration from the system via a remote desktop session. Now, let's look at the controls Plesk gives us for session management. Click the Sessions link. The Sessions link is located in the navigation panel of all users, regardless of their access level. Let's look at the preferences. Click the Preferences icon. The Preferences icon is only accessible to System Administrator level users. Leaving this option unchecked will not allow Plesk sessions to be continued if the user's IP address changes during the session. If the user is limited to only one session, the user will have to either wait for the original session to expire or have a higher level user remove the session before they will be able to access Plesk. Let's change the value for session idle time. This icon can be used to restore the default settings for Plesk. Click the OK button to save the changes. This is our current session. Let's refresh the window and see if there are any new sessions since the last page loaded. Click the Refresh icon. Here's one. Let's remove the session. Clients will only see their users' sessions and those of the domain administrators and email users on their domains. Domain administrators will only see their sessions and email users on their particular domain. Email users will only see their sessions. System administrators will see all sessions for all of the users. Click the checkbox to select the session. Click the Remove Selected link. Click the Yes, I wish to end these sessions checkbox. Click the OK button. Now let's take a look at FTP sessions. The FTP Sessions tab is available to all levels of access except email users. Click the FTP Sessions tab. We currently are using the default FTP component that comes with Internet Information Services, or IIS, bundled with the Windows 2003 server. It does not support outside session management by Plesk. Sessions with the Microsoft FTP service can be managed in a remote desktop session via the Internet Information Services Manager. In order to be able to manage FTP sessions within Plesk, we would need to install and switch to a supported third-party FTP component. For more information about services and components, refer to the tutorial Managing Services and Components in Plesk. If we were using an alternative FTP service that did support session management from within Plesk, access permissions to sessions within Plesk would cascade in similar fashion as they did with the Plesk sessions we covered earlier. The procedure for removing sessions would also be similar. Now let's look at Terminal Services Sessions. Click the TS Sessions tab. Terminal services are the services that include the Remote Desktop Protocol, or RDP, used to access the system. The TS Sessions tab is only accessible to system administrators. Plesk shows the service listening for connections. Let's look at some of the process information. Click the name. Plesk is now showing us some of the properties of the service listening for connections. Click the Up Level link. Let's refresh the window and see if there are any new sessions since the page last loaded. Click the refresh icon. Here is a session for an FTP front page user that was granted system access. We granted access to this user for demonstration purposes. Granting access to the system via remote desktop or FTP front page users of domains is not recommended unless absolutely necessary, as it is a security risk. These users still will not be able to manage RDP sessions in Plesk. However, if multiple sessions are allowed in terminal services, these users will be able to manage their sessions there. Terminal Services has the ability for users to disconnect from their sessions and reconnect to continue their session when they log in at a later time. This is useful when a user needs to execute a process that will take some time to complete and they want to check on without having to leave the remote connection open. Let's disconnect this user's session. Click the checkbox to select the session. Click the Disconnect link. Click the Confirm Removal checkbox. Click the OK button. Now let's remove the session. This will end all processes that may have been still running. Click the checkbox to select the session. Click the Log Out link. Click the Confirm Removal checkbox. Click the OK button. Congratulations! You now know how to manage sessions in Plesk.